The purpose of this video is to put into a document that can be used to explain our security system we have at the entrance of Wildcat. Why we put it together, how we put it together, and how it can be maintained. Hopefully this information will be useful to future boards as they continue to be vigilant in maintaining our security. It started in 2008, the reason for changing our system. First, the gate system at that time opened up at dawn and shut down at sunrise. So the gates were closed from sunset to sunrise. We had several incidents of people coming in. We think it was two young guys that came in actually at one time, one evening, and rifled through a number of storage lots, storage sheds, took some items, and left. Later, they were caught, talked to their parents, and we never had any more problems since then. That being said, it shook us up because we had thought in Wildcat, with the system we had, that we were all safe from this type of thing. James decided that we needed to shut our gates, James Cook, on a 24/7 basis. And it took a bid to have a system installed that would allow us to adjust that. And that, therefore, we would have to issue codes, access codes, to all of our members and anybody coming into Wildcat. At the same token, I met with the Sheriff's Department to find out what we needed to do to protect Wildcat as far from people coming in and damaging or stealing things in Wildcat. They said the best system you could have, if we had the money, was to put in a camera system, because the camera operates 24/7, day and night, and would catch anybody going into Wildcat. So once we made that decision and could afford it, and talked with James on it, he asked me to go forward and look into the research of it to see what kind of systems, because I didn't have any information whatsoever or data on the security systems. It was a long process, 2 or 3 months actually, putting together a bibliography, a dictionary of all the terms, 2 pages of terms. They're so involved. It was such a different world for us. Once I put that together, we then started taking bids on systems, prices, different capabilities. It's called generically control access system. But within the control access system, there are so many different programs and vendors providing services. Once we decided on what we wanted, it was the company that we wanted to buy was from Closed Circuit TV, CCTV, and CameraPros.com. And so we now knew the equipment we had. The question was, where are we going to put the equipment? The cameras have to be at the entrance. It made sense. That's where we want to catch anybody going in and out of Wildcat. But there wasn't any place to put the equipment. And the equipment has to be in an atmosphere-controlled environment so the electronic will work. It can't work under too cold or too hot or too humid. So we thought of different ways. Finally ended up with asking Ellis to build us a shed, a shelter, if you will, down at the entrance. And he built that, and that's the picture you see above you. You see that it's heavily insulated. The camera, the monitor is on the table he built for us. And if you look carefully, you'll be able to see 4 different images from the cameras that are fed here, and I'll talk to that in a minute. Below that is a digital video recorder, black box. And so the cable from each camera runs independently into the shed and into the recorder, and it's all stored on the 500 gigabyte disk. The photo above is the back end of the shelter. It has a heat pump, a Mitsubishi heat pump, and it provides the temperature control with heat, automatic returning from air conditioning heat as needed, as we set it automatically. The back below that is a ditch going from the ditch over in near Postel underneath Martins Creek Road in the back of the shed and on into Martins Creek. And we had it caving in a while, so we had some riprap put in there and that should give it a permanent base. So we're happy to have that. This picture shows the camera, one of the 4 cameras we bought. You saw earlier the specifics of that camera has 150 LEDs. The top of the camera is a hood that goes over the housing, and the hood slides forwards and backwards. We didn't know that at first, but the damage was done for the sun and weather on the lens over the camera. And we thought the cameras had gone bad once we got it apart, and I'll show that in the next picture. In this case, though, the LEDs are the light area in the circle of the camera, so they show they will allow the camera to video in day and night. And from the housing itself, the camera goes, the cable goes down. It's a coaxial cable to feed that. Part of the coaxial cable is a 12-volt circuit, and the other is a feed from the video going all the way back to the shelter and into the DVD recorder, which we showed earlier. This image shows the camera itself. It's on a bench. We took it down, and John Clark put it on his bench in his garage and took it apart. And you can see the different parts of the housing. You can see at the top, for instance, the shade that slides forwards and backwards. Gives us more protection, protects that. The big black area in the middle, there is a lens, and the lens is down on the counter with the black ring and on a white piece of paper. What John did was to get some abrasion, different thicknesses, different courses of abrasion, and slowly in circle moves, ground off the plastic lens cover. And that finally cleared up eventually to where we have about a 99% replacement as if it's a brand new lens. And that was the problem from the fuzziness. The camera itself, you see it standing on the right there, and that fits in the housing. And so it turns out this is a spare camera. We thought the camera was bad, and so we bought a new one. And turns out this is working fine with all of John's work. He's now done that with all 4 of our cameras, taking all of them down, cleaning the lens, sanding them down, and then replacing them. So we have the benefit of that, and we really appreciate all the work that John's done on this. This image is a spreadsheet I put together showing the multitude of settings that each of our cameras have. There's an adjustment at the back of the camera for a focus and another one for settings. You press in, and so we have one by one gone through all the cameras and identify what the settings are, and I put them on a spreadsheet here. This is the number 3 camera. We bought it in 2013, and it is the newest camera. The others are 2008. We bought them in 2008. And so this has, so on the left, you'll see the lens, the shutter, the white balance, the BLC, backlight, AGC, WDR, DNR, all of those are terms I didn't have any idea what they were, but on the far right, I describe what each of those does, and we put in the settings. Dick Mordan has been very helpful as we have looked at these cameras, and so we're trying to get a spreadsheet on all of them and finding a way that we can record and find the best setting for each one of the cameras. So I appreciate so much the work that Dick has done on that. Steve Gaudette has been helpful with the settings, the cameras, the adjustments, the focus, It takes two people down there doing that at the time, so we appreciate all their help. This picture is of the monitor in my house, actually, where we're able to remotely dial in from our computer in the house into the telephone line, into the internet connection, and into the DVR recorder, digital video recorder. And so also this is showing the image on the monitor there. And as you can see, the left picture, upper left picture is the shelter itself. The middle one on the right shows the front of the car. The one on the far right is a picture of the back end of the car. The one on the lower left is of the entrance, and then the middle one, lower middle one, is of the camera itself. It's the fifth camera we've added, and it's in the pedestal itself. So when someone drives up there to punch in, we've got a live color picture of that person sitting in their car catching. So those are the 5 cameras we have. This screenshot above is of 4 cameras showing a car that is coming in, is exiting a Wildcat. So you see it going through. You see on the upper right shows the would be the car coming in, would show the front end of it. This is showing going out. The one on the left has showing it going through, and finally the one showing of the entry of the gate. That camera is catching it at that end. So we're able to catch 3 different pictures of it. As you can see, these are all live videos, not a single shot. So live videos. I just was able to catch that on going through the monitor, and I took a screenshot of that. So with this camera and the DVDs, these cameras and the DVD, we're able to burn this to a hard drive. We can put it on a thumb drive. We can give that to the police. They can see the full video of the car. It's all color shots going in and out of Wildcat. This is really the best system we've got as far as security, in my opinion. It catches everybody going in or out. So there's actually, you're going to see pictures of them going in and also a picture going out. So you're going to have at least 6 pictures of that car going through there. And I can't think of a better security system trying to identify someone that is creating a problem for us in some way or other. This photo is of a handheld monitor that we purchased. It's amazing. It is powered by batteries, handheld within the handle. It has an LED screen at the top. There are 2 connectors to it off the top. One is a 12-volt, which is run by the batteries, which powers up the camera. And the second is a coaxial connector going to the video feed from the camera to the monitor. So you're able to hook this up to a camera on a bench, for instance, turn on the unit, and you're able then to see the camera, and then you can go into the settings that I showed earlier and set the camera so that it has all the settings exactly as you want. You can set all this remotely. It could be in a workshop, could be in a house, could be up on the column holding the camera if you want it. So all of those allows you to have detailed analysis of the settings, as you're looking right at the camera, so you get in focus as an example, wider view, narrower view, adjustments on the camera itself to get the best picture. So it's an excellent camera with all the various settings to maximize the quality of the video that we're catching. This photo is of our surveillance camera that we have at the front. Actually, we have 2 of them. We have one as you're entering the Wildcat, and also when you're exiting. This lets people know that we have cameras surveilling them, and any movement they have is recorded. We think that the combination of our cameras and this sign should be the single, in my opinion, this single best surveillance system we've got. We know it's important to have the gates closed, and we do have them closed. But we also are well aware that as soon as someone goes in or out into the gate or out of the gate, that those gates are open for another maybe 10 to 15 seconds. So the gate doesn't close on the person if they're going slow. The same token allows another car to tailgate in, or two cars go in. So that means they come and go. So as well as important it is to have our gates closed, the fact is we have a gap in our system. The cameras close that gap. The cameras allow us to catch every car, at least 6 images going in and out of Wildcat. So I can't think of a better way on a 24/7 basis to have the monitoring of the services. With this information, as I said, we can turn it over to the police, the video, the still shots. So it's amazing the benefit that we have, and I feel this is our single best system for us. Our vehicle we have, a surveillance system we have in our catching vehicles going in and out of. Another part of our surveillance system at the entrance of Wildcat is inside the pedestal. The pedestal is the panel that you see on the left side as you're coming into Wildcat. There's an LED screen, and people can scroll down, call a person, one of our members, talk to them on the phone, and then have that person press 9 and open up the gate, as we all know. Inside, though, the software that runs that system, the control access systems, which is called generically, are 2 electrical panels. And Bill Oakley is the person who is managing this for us as far as setting up access control codes for each of us as members, frequent guests, as well as setting up codes for each month that it changes. And the benefit of all of this is that it's a big job that Bill does, but it does give us control over who goes in and out of Wildcat, along with our camera system. So we appreciate all of the work that Bill's done on this, and the software itself is in the instead of in a computer as you'd expect for a software to be. In this case, it's in the panels, the pedestal as they open up. So there are 2 of these. As you open up the panel, the pedestal, it swings out. Half of it swings out, and one panel is in that, and the other is in the base panel. Another part of our entrance surveillance system, security system for Wildcat, is the grounding and surge protection. This particular has to do with the surge protectors. The electronic units that we have inside the pedestal and inside the shelter are subject to electrical charges like the rest of us in our houses that we have, and they can burn things up and have burned things up, very costly in fact. So we've had a system installed with surge protectors, and this diagram shows the surge protector. At the bottom of the model above, it shows a cable going from, on the left side, it says old connection, from the shed over to the pedestal, because there was one conduit. What we've done, it says just above that under new connection, is that we also have it going through the connector going from the shed to the pedestal. But in between, inside the shed, is a surge protector, and then another surge protector as it goes into the shed. So as a result, it's had 2 ways of protection, and these are good for 2 or 3 years, and we'll replace them. But they do get shots coming through as far as electrical surges are going through. And it's a very helpful system for us to have. We've not had any losses that we're aware of in the last 3 years since we've installed these. These were installed in 2012. Another part of our surveillance system to protect our electronics is a grounding system. With the lightning hitting, as you see, there is a trench from the shelter coming towards us, and then it goes off to the left to the pedestal. So buried, it's down 30 inches. Buried there is a 2-0 cable. It's a huge electrical cable. And there are lightning rods, if you will, going up at each end of those up into the air. And what happens is when lightning hits, the happy theory is that it'll be attracted to the lightning rods, down the lightning rods, and then travel on the cable and hopefully dissipate as it runs down the 2-0 cable. So we have that installed, and this was put in, let's see, this was put in 2012, and it cost us about $1,800. But we've not had, again, as I said, as far as we know, any hits that have lightning hits that have damaged our. We've had lightning hits, but none have damaged our electronic system. And so it's down by itself, and it needs protection. And this system has worked great. In fact, the electrician that we had install this, well, even before that, I met with the top engineer for Murphy Electrical Power, and it showed him the diagram and asked what he thought of it. It had been drawn up for us, and he said he thought it was a great system. So I wish everybody had it. The electrician installed it. I just found out that he is now selling this system, the same 2-0 cable with the grounding system and so forth. And I don't know if he's using the surge protectors as well, but he's selling that as a service, and it's a great service to have. It's not a guarantee. If we have a direct hit, the electricians have told me that it'll blast anything. There isn't anything strong enough to fight that. But it should take care of us, and it's taken care of us since 2012. So we were very happy with that, that's for sure. And certainly saved us money. It's been well worth it, the investment that we've put. The last shot that we have is of Steve Gaudette and John Clark installing our cables in a conduit going from the camera to the shed. Originally, when they were installed in 2012 by Ellis, he dug a shallow trench and put the cables just in the ground. It's worked just fine since then. But the concern was that over time the dampness could get to it, or a slight cut could work into the cable and destroy the video coming through. So we've decided to put those into a conduit. It was really triggered by the fact that we wanted to change the position of one of the camera on the shed, which we called number 4. We thought we weren't using it as well, so we would move it. John and Steve thought it would be better if we moved it right next to the road coming in and before the pedestal. So as a result, it is focused right on the license plate of the vehicle coming in. So we decided to make that move. We decided also to change 2 other cables to put them into conduit. So we've got 3 of the 5 cameras now are in a conduit. So we'll finish the other 2 sometime later. They're all working fine now as it is. So anyway, that's what that is. You see the new post just up to the right there, and they're running the cable down over into the shelter. Kip was very helpful as well, as we had a person that we hired to come in and do some work for us as well, so helping us. So anyway, that's the story of this picture. The order number, the supplier, the address, the phone number, all that information is available for us to maintain, because all of it does have to be maintained. It's a part of it's a part of what our dues are spent to maintain Wildcat, but it doesn't just happen. Much of this work that you've seen, you've heard me mention different names, Kip, Steve, John, helping us, Bill Oakley, helping us, Ed Hammond, managing the roadsides. We have certain service people that manage Wildcat as well. We pay them, but most of it is volunteer work. And so we appreciate the volunteers, and we hope we continue for people to take interest in Wildcat and to help us out offering your volunteer services to help maintain. This is our development. It's not someone else's. It's not the cooks. It's not making banks. It's not anybody that would buy property. This is ours. And so shame on us if we don't take care of it. And these are What I've tried to do is to show you the efforts I put into it and what we have to do to continue to maintain it. Thank you so much.